Practice to Deceive is an Ann Rule book. It is her last nonfiction book, not including the volume of true crime tales after she published. This is the last full-on nonfiction crime novel she would do. It would later, there's a Lifetime movie coming out called Circle of Deception, based off of it, but it is about Russell Douglas. He is a family man who was found shot between the eyes in his vehicle on Whidbey Island, north of Seattle, Washington. A really small town that you need a ferry to get to. It's a really interesting story to start because of, like, you know, the violence that happened in a small community. But then eventually you start introducing more people, more characters associated with them. You find out a little bit more background. This book is really sad because, you know, when you read a true crime book about like a serial killer that gets caught and they get executed or they go to prison for a long time, you get that sort of cathartic release, justice for the victims, you know. But this is one of those true crime stories where you don't really get fully justice, and it kind of sucks, you know. It's very similar to In the Still of the Night. That one was sort of like unsolved. This one's solved, but the supposed real perpetrator got a slap on the wrist apparently, and pretty much got, you know, not away with murder, but they basically got like a breeze instead of you know, a harsh prison sentence, which is a little bit deflating. So sometimes the book fills off into filler, though. There's some boring parts in the middle. Sometimes the author talks about like plane tickets and stuff. That was a little weird, but overall, Practice to Deceive is still an interesting story because of, you know, violence in a small town, but also it's one of those, you know, salacious sort of stories that just keeps getting more deeper and interesting as you go on. And it's still worth checking out. You know, I only read it because the library had the audiobook, so I figured I'd check it out. So I give Practice to Deceive a 3 out of 5.